All right. How's it going?
Good. How
Oh
are
man.
you?
Good, good. Okay, so I know you from a band called the Fantods, who
Yep.
I would describe as a horror movie meets metal.
Nice. Yeah,
So,
that was pretty much the intention for most of
right.
it.
So you're singing melodically, like soulful pop kind of stuff over top of really metal and maybe even some like polka in there.
Yep, absolutely.
So you moved to California, and when was that?
I moved in late 2012.
Okay.
Um, and then I shortly after I moved there, I came up to Canada for a bit.
Oh, cool.
And then I have just like gone back and forth from California and Canada for a handful of years, and
Very cool.
then left California in 2018 and have been basically like in Canada and a bit in Ohio and stuff. So I'm
Oh,
kind
cool.
of don't have like roots anywhere
I
specific
didn't know that.
yet.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what part of Canada.
I'm in Vancouver in
Very cool.
British Columbia, so I'm on the West Coast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's not my question, but I wanted to kind of intro a little bit. um, and when did you kind of start playing music again outside of like the live band thing?
Um, well, after like around the time that Fantods was wrapping up, I did a couple songs with Jerome Dillon.
Hmm.
And then when I got out to California, I met my partner Chris, who we started a project together there called Kabiria. And
Right.
so I did that for a while till probably like maybe like 2017-ish.
Okay.
And then I did like a ton of collaborations with people. People would reach out. Um, like, I feel like I did a collaboration. I did one with someone in France, someone in Russia,
Very cool.
someone in Canada, like just like all over. Um, and then I kind of took a break and then started like, oh, I want to do my own project.
Very
So
cool.
yeah.
Nice. So, I want to ask the first question. The production like comes to mind first, like kind of groovy, sometimes like vintage inspired synths, and for buggy.
Yeah.
And do you start with like a beat, voice memo? Do you like? Can you walk me through the process of how you kind of
Yeah.
create these songs?
I usually start with like a beat or like a drum loop or a synth. It really there isn't a specific way that I start. I normally don't start with the vocal. I usually feel like the vocal um is inspired by like a synth or something that I'm listening to.
Okay.
So usually probably more so than not it's a synth that I find that I really just kind of like hook into and really enjoy. And then I'll write the vocal on top of whatever that simple synth line is. And then I kind of go back and like chisel it and slowly build upon it, and it kind of grows as it goes.
Nice.
So,
Are you
yeah.
working in like a digital like workspace?
Yep, I'm using Ableton.
Okay.
I when I decided I wanted to do a full-length album, I did all the instrumentation and like the vocal writing in Ableton, but then when I went to record my vocals, Cubase is a lot easier for that.
Okay.
So, because they'll do like the lanes, so you can. I don't know if you've used,
I've
or I
never
don't know
used it.
what
I use
you haven't
Logic.
used it. Okay, I haven't tried Logic, but
Okay.
that's like definitely one of those names where everyone is saying that they love it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so when you can do lanes, which Ableton didn't offer until this like new, like the next update they're doing, they offer it. But like you can just like loop your part and sing it over and over again. So I switched to Cubase just for recording the vocals.
Okay.
And then I thought I was going to mix it myself. So then I was learning Cubase to like mix. Um, but yeah, but then I ended up having Mark Abrams mix it. So
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome.
I feel like my only way to have something that I work with when writing vocals is I have to program something.
That's cool.
Um, and you want something that's going to be like as fast as possible, or else you know what I mean? Like if you have an idea and you don't grab it right away, it just evaporates.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find it.
Yeah.
So in Ableton, I feel like I can move really fast with ideas, whereas like in Cubase, I just don't know it very well, and so I'm kind of like, how do I find this thing again?
Right.
And
Yeah, it's got to be
so
interesting because my perspective is all different because I started on instruments. So
exactly. So I feel like for what you do, it would be more like, I don't know if Ableton would be as necessary as like for what I do, because
right.
you already like building the song, and then by the time you probably get to that point, it's already developed. Whereas
Right.
like I'm developing it as I'm like recording it
Yeah.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I need to be able to like work fast, and that's definitely Ableton for
Yeah.
sure.
I just started working with kind of going backwards to not backwards, but kind of more going probably closer to what you're doing. So I bought an MPD 218, so it's just like a little pad.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
MPC, like $100 plug and play pad, but it's great. And so
Yeah.
I've been kind of like experimenting with just like producing beats and stuff, and it's super
Yes.
fun.
It is so much fun, and it's totally different. I mean, my background is very much art based, and
Right.
I feel like it's like, some people just really gravitate towards different paints or different,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
techniques, and it really is that like I feel like, if you for people that haven't explored it, they should try it, especially if they want to do music, but they tried one thing and it just didn't click. Then that's not your thing. Like
Yeah.
try something else. And
Right.
that's really awesome. Yeah, the pads are so much fun. I've got one and I was using it like crazy with have you heard of Melodics?
Mm-mm.
Melodics is it's like a pad like lessons. So every day you practice for 5 minutes and they give you these lessons and you just tap away and then
Oh, cool.
just complete the lesson. And I did that for a long time and really loved that. And
Really cool.
yeah, that's a lot of fun practice too. Yeah, for that.
That's super cool. Well, do you want to do a song?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yes.
Let me just turn on.
Sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Let me just turn on my reverb.
Okay. What's your song going to be called?
This song, well, that was so dramatic. This song is called Dig.
Okay.
All right, now I'll add the drama. Hi, what's your name? Take a number, get in line. Everyone's got a problem, and your problem isn't mine. What you wanna talk about it, I don't understand. I've been sitting on a throne at the top of it all. Won't you lend a hand and dig for me? Just dig for me. And when you feel like you've been getting your share, you gotta get down low. Try not to care, yeah, yeah. And when you think that you can make it to the top, I just build a wall around it. Watch your spirit drop, yeah. Just dig for me. Hi, don't you see that the distance in between is less than what I really want, but greater than what it used to be. Please don't make me talk about it, don't you understand? I've been sitting on a throne at the top of it all, won't you lend a hand? And when you feel like you've been getting your share, you gotta get down low. Try not to care, yeah, yeah. And when you think that you can make it to the top, I just build a wall around it. Watch your spirit drop, yeah. Just dig for me. Just dig for me. And when you feel like you've been getting your share, you gotta get down low. Try not to care, yeah, yeah. And when you think that you can make it to the top, I just build a wall around it. Watch your spirit drop. That's dig.
Nice. I didn't know if it was over. I thought it was, but I didn't want to clap like.
I know. I feel like I never. No, I mean, you should have. I would have even been like, "It's okay," even if it picked back up.
Right.
Yeah. No.
That's cool.
I think it looks like your video is frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So maybe it'll just jump back in.
Hopefully.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a music one, although they aren't all music because I wanted some variety. But I'm curious what your earliest memory is that you have of making music and like knowing that you felt like rewarded from it and wanted to make more music.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if I've talked about it before because I've done a bunch of these interview things on Instagram and I don't want to repeat myself, but the one that comes to mind was I played violin and I still play it, and my elementary school we would practice, with school, and you start with like the plucking, everybody's ding dong dong dong. It's very kind of boring, and everybody plays the same notes, and then you kind of graduate to everybody playing with a bow, and then you're sitting in this like little classroom with like little music stands set up, and it's not even like a music room, it was like a classroom. And because the teachers would go around and they would, those teachers were heroes. They were, it was like 5th grade through 12th grade, and they taught every grade, and there were only 2 teachers, I think. So
Wow.
yeah, and that was like 8 schools or something every day. So they
Oh
would
my
come
gosh.
in. Yeah, it was crazy. And one day we got to, I guess it just got to that point where you're like playing harmony with everybody, so everybody's playing different parts.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's like a memory that's pretty like bold in my head of just like what's happening right now, because everybody's just playing harmony and strings, and you're just surrounded by that harmony.
Nice.
That was one of the coolest memories. I just have it. It's pretty vivid.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was cool. And you're like 10 years old, so. And
Totally.
My dad was a musician. So I mean, it's kind of.
So you've been around it for a long time.
Yeah, but that was one of the like early, just like what the hell.
Oh yeah.
Magic,
Absolutely.
That was
that's
pretty good one.
That's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this one that I've written. I just wrote it. I think it's done. I'm kind of like writing these 2 verse, 1 chorus songs now. That's all I have to say. So I'm just gonna kind of like accept it.
Yep.
So this is like the very timely song. It's kind of like more of a folky one. When the dust all settles and it's back to work, and the seeds of change have planted, will we look back and laugh at all the sadness? Will it be enough to change? The backs that broke to build your town, the flag you waved so proudly, the strength it takes to look inside. Do we have enough to change? Darkened sky, can you share a little sunlight in these dark times? We'll take all that we can give. Darkened skies, can you share a little sunlight in these dark times? We'll take all that we can give. Skies, can you share a little sunlight in these dark times? We'll take all we can give. Now that the people have spoken, must begin.
Beautiful.
Thanks. I think I did I'm supposed to do the verse chorus, but it doesn't matter. It's all there.
I love it. And I'm very jealous of your guitar playing skills.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Oh, man. So my next question for you was, I listen to a lot of like interviews with musicians and podcasts. It's just kind of all I do. And I think it's fair to say insecurity is like a big struggle for a lot of us, and that's myself included. Is that something that you've had to deal with, and how do you kind of like overcome that, or how do you like deal with that?
Oh my God. Well, I think that is like the ongoing struggle that is, I swear some days I'm like, is that ever going to leave? Like, is that something where you can actually, like one day solve and fix and feel like, okay, well, that's just not going to be a problem again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you can evolve, whether as like a species or a person, without that kind of inner struggle, I guess.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I think I got into music because of insecurities, and it was like an outlet for me, and it was a way for me to process things that were going on. And it was a way for me to like, I guess, utilize my alone time because
Right.
I think when you're insecure or maybe like anxious, a lot of alone time can be not necessarily good for you because your brain just goes crazy.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, as far as like I'm always struggling with that for sure. But as far as my buggy project goes, um I think well, it helped to have other people do what I wanted to do that I felt like were learning as they went. Like an artist like Grimes, she's been really open about just how she does it all herself, but also like, there's a lot of stuff that maybe she doesn't exactly know what she's doing, but she still does it and will share it.
Right.
And I think too, like after I had more life experiences where I just was in settings where I was with people that were wildly successful, that behind the scenes I could see that they maybe didn't even, they knew less than other people that I knew that were like not successful at all. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? So I felt like I had all these experiences that kind of made it where like my brain was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like, uh, sharing doesn't have to be perfect, and what I'm doing, like if insecurity is always going to be there, but it's always something I can work on, then the next step is like, well, are you going to share what you're doing or not? Because you're going to be insecure. You could possibly be insecure forever.
Right.
So I feel like insecurity also comes with this idea that you're trying to achieve perfection or achieve like
Yeah.
something that's this ideal. So if you're always going to feel insecure and there's all these people out there that are already doing what you want to do that maybe don't know what they're doing, then if you take perfection out of the equation, then it makes it a lot
Mm.
easier to like share that stuff,
Yeah.
which then in turn makes you feel more confident about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I feel
That's
like it's
cool.
it's perspective.
Mm.
Really, it's just like um I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
just doing what feels right for me. That's my intention.
Yeah.
And the intention is not perfection because that is fleeting.
Yes.
So I'm just going to do it and share it. And worst case scenario, people will think it's garbage and that I'm a fool. But also, worst case scenario, if they think that, other people are going to think, wow, I've always wanted to do that. And Gretchen did it and it kind of sounded like crap. So, I mean, why can't I try it? So
That's
that's not
cool. Yeah.
that's not really a bad thing.
No, no. Yeah, I think that's perfection out of the equation is a really good idea. I
Yes.
I I've kind of learned off of other people and just trying to I've seen other musicians in particular kind of like that I thought were amazing and then just being like I suck and I'm never going to record any of my stuff and I'm kind of like man, it's kind of the opposite really. It's like that person is so good and don't they're not doing anything instead of like that person's not very good and they're doing a lot. It's like the opposite. I've learned off of that where it's like I'm just gonna record anything I do, not anything, but you know, in other words, like my perspective with music is like just in specifically of like making recordings is like
Yep.
I'm going to now document what I do. That's all I'm doing. It's like not about anything else because you can put all this other weight on top of your like music, but it's like whatever. Like, I listen to so many interviews. It's like, oh, this guy heard my song because I put it on SoundCloud, one time. It's like you never know where it can go ever. The other day, a guy from South Korea had me on a playlist because I released a track on Spotify.
Wow, that's
No,
awesome.
no idea who this guy is,
Yeah.
and I did not no work to put it out. I mean, I did the work of making it, and he was like, I dig the tune. I'm putting it on my like whatever sold playlist, which I thought was really amazing. I mean, there's like Shaka Khan or something was on this playlist, just like random like list, because
That's awesome.
yeah, it was really really cool. And you know, you don't do the music for that, but it's like really nice to get recognition. And I never get. This is the last track I put out called Matter of Time is the most I've ever had, most reception I've ever had, and I think it's because I've been putting out tracks, just putting them out, and you know, hopefully something happens to them. So you never know.
Well, you never know, and I feel like it's hard when you desire an outcome,
Yes.
but you have no control over the outcome.
Yeah.
So it is that I feel like is as much of a struggle as the insecurity thing. It's like
Yes.
it's like how can you make something and just for the pure bliss of making it and
Right.
and detach it from this need for it to do something.
Right.
And I think though abundance, like if you're making a lot of tracks, that makes that easier because it's
Right.
kind of like I don't know. I'll tell you a real short, quick story that I heard like not that long ago, but I really enjoyed it. It was about a pottery teacher that divided the class into two groups, and maybe you've heard this one before. But the one group, the teacher said, "You have only one thing you have to do at the end of this week. I need you to make one perfect pot. That's it. Like that's the only thing you have to do." And then to the other group, he said, "All right, you only have one thing that you have to do this." For the week, and then at the end of the week we're gonna view at what everyone made. And so for that group, he said, you need to make as many pots as you possibly can. It doesn't just make as many as you can. And so the one group was trying to make one that was perfect, and the other
Right.
group was trying to make as many as possible. And at the end of the week, the group that made as many as possible also made the better pot.
Huh. Interesting. I never heard that one.
Yeah.
That's a good little antidote for
Yeah,
sure.
totally. All right, so I'm going to do another song off of my album. This one is called Currency. She was brought up artificially, never what they wanted her to be, no matter how hard she tried. And so now all she wants to do is sing about money. All she wants to do is sing about love. All she wants to do are drugs in the system. Everyone losing up. If beauty is her currency and youth is visibility, then that's the way it has to be. I'm relating and I'm drifting away and I'm slipping, the distance is sinking in.
Won't you listen to what I've been thinking?
I finally see its conditioning, 'cause I'm a bad bitch, I'm a good witch, yeah, I'm significant, they can deal with it. If beauty is our currency and youth is visibility, and that's the way it has to be,
isn't payment for a job done well. Love is not a refund for your personal hell. Love is not a store where you buy and sell. Love should never be withheld from those who don't excel. Love is not a trophy for how hard you try. And love is a transaction that is based on lies. Will only gain their interest in your currency. But there's more than meets the eye, don't you see? If beauty is our currency and youth is visibility, and that's the way it has to be, then maybe we should disagree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The fly in the background.
Oh, yes.
That's cool.
All right, question for you, not related to music.
Uh-huh.
What is a habit, good or bad, that you've started this year as a result of COVID and being stuck at home so much?
Oh, God.
I was just going to ask what was a bad habit that you started, but then I thought, well, I don't want to put you too much on the spot, so I'll open it up to a good habit as well.
Right. No, I like that. I think the good habit is like just trying to intentionally trying to exercise more, which is not that good. I don't do well at it, but it's the intention.
Yeah, the intention is a step in the right direction.
Right. Honestly, I don't really like working out or any of that. I like to walk because I think that's, especially as an artist, like walks are just like, oh, okay. That's like the downloading time. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm you're writing when you're walking. I am.
Absolutely.
So that's my go-to. Also, like I have a 6-year-old, so, alone time. Yeah, I don't get any. Really?
Yeah, totally. I was going to say that. Yeah, I don't think you get any of that.
No. So I try to take that time at least once a day, if possible. Sometimes the Ohio weather can just be terrible, but it's actually I feel like it's been like record-breakingly awesome. Just like blue skies.
Aww.
Like last week it was like 80 degrees. It makes no sense. It's November.
Yep.
Scarily great. But that's been great. I think that's the biggest thing I picked up. It's just like try to get outside, try to walk, and actually my son he has a scooter, and our neighbor gave us a little Razor scooter. I live in Bexley, and like there's like scooters in the trash like everywhere.
Oh my gosh, weird.
Yeah. So I've literally gotten 3 scooters for him in the trash, like nice scooters.
Wow.
Yeah, and my next door neighbor has like a Razor scooter that's like an original Razor that's like really heavy duty, and they had kids, they're empty nesters. They're like, here, take the scooter.
Oh my gosh, fun.
Yeah, so I ride it.
Nice.
Because it's like adjustable up to my height. So him and
That's
I scooter around the neighborhood. So that's really fun.
Cute.
And he's like really good at the scooter. It's like he has like two wheels in the front, one in the back.
Yep.
And he's great at it. And so that's like a really fun habit that we've done. When he's not like wanting to play Nintendo Switch, which is also like a habit we've gotten into.
I'm all for all of these things.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Nintendo Switch is that it has all the retro games if you subscribe to it. Oh. So man, of course they are so smart. They're like parents are, if you're 35, like 36 like me, Donkey Kong Country, like Super Mario Brothers, all that stuff. It's like, man. So we've been doing that, and then I've just been drinking every day. So
that would be your bad habit or your good habit.
Yeah, that's the habit. And the other habit, the really bad habit I have is because my lady is a vegetarian, we don't like have meat in our house, so like I like go to like Shake Shack because we have Shake Shack here now, and I'll order it online and just like get this crate, like get a burger and a milkshake and just like pig out in my car. It's really sad.
No, but that sounds like that's also your alone time.
It is, yeah. Shame eat in my car alone, because like literally I don't work at an office. Like I'm gigging. Like my main thing was gigging at one point.
Yeah.
So I would be out all the time, you know, at least 3 times a week at a different city and a different, because I play all around, and now I'm just at home all the time. So
it's quite the adjustment.
Yeah, I teach lessons at home through like exactly through a camera like this, and in my basement in this room. So
that's great.
I mean, going out of the house is like, I don't really do anything. I'm not going to the bar. Like I'm not like, I don't know, offense to those people or whatever, but I'm not doing that. So, and I'm already kind of like, I don't really like, I don't have too many like social friends that I like go hang out with. So, you know, the music is kind of like where I live my life. So
absolutely,
it's been hard. And so just like getting like ice cream or like going out of my house.
Yep.
It's like something to do. So sad.
No, I don't think, I think that's why I'm so interested about like a good and a bad habit. 'Cause it's like,
yeah,
I feel like there's no other way to go through this year without some sort of like coping mechanisms. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And like, I think my list of bad habits has been more than like I would want to even share, but it's like, yeah, I think, you know, I found too, a lot of it is like missing what we used to think were treats. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think it would make sense to go do that and like go pick up your like Shake Shack, because that is like the equivalent of like your treat, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's some alone time, which you're like not getting.
Right.
So yeah. And
what would you say yours are?
Oh, well, for the good ones, definitely like, well, actually I've been kind of living this like COVID life for since late 2018, because when we left California, I was kind of just like living out of a suitcase. I didn't have like all my stuff is still in a storage locker.
Oh wow.
And so I just really was like focused on music and what, you know, I could do, like make art and stuff like that on my own time. So I've gotten used to how can I still be inspired even if my space isn't what I would necessarily want it to be. So if I'm like in a small room or like sharing a space, like, you know, or I'm like not in my own home or I'm staying with family, like what is something that I can still do in those settings. And then
right.
So I feel like it's been good that I've been able to like stay on track, with that, or like exercising or stuff like that.
Right.
And then my bad habit is like I've just become like gross. Like when there was like a shortage of toilet paper and as I said that, I think I spit all over the screen. But when there was like a shortage of toilet paper and like Kleenex and stuff, I like started being like, okay, I'm gonna like wipe my nose on the inside of my shirt, and that habit has not left. So just stuff like that where I'm like, wow, okay, like the second I see that I start doing that in public, I'm gonna be like, I need to have like a sit down talk with myself because I've gotten gross. But
you have a mask.
Well, yeah, when you're exactly in public, I have a mask. Nobody knows like where it's dripping. Right. But like at home, I'm like literally like, like, why am I doing this? I have Kleenex now. Like everything's fine. But I don't know. It's just a gross habit. So
that's funny.
That's my gross habit.
That's great. So I'm gonna attempt to do a little studio session with a couple guys, masked up and everything. Hopefully it'll be safe. And so we're gonna try this song. I'm kind of I kind of need to practice it, so we'll see. It's kinda heartbreaking how we move through this life. We know our days are numbered here, still decide to fight. Pointing fingers and placing blame, giving in to every fear. Who won the argument? Why are we even here? Who is wrong? Who is right? I just think we have to decide. Do we grow together? Try to make a plan, fall apart. Can we even understand? Was it meant to be? All these tears in the night from the start. Can we even make it right? It's kinda soul shaking when you take away the fights. Spent so many nights together, laughing till we cried. Built this house together, now it's falling apart. Please tell me there's a way to go back to start. Who is wrong? Who is right? I just think we have to decide. Do we grow together? Try to make a plan, fall apart. Can we even understand? Is it meant to be? All these tears in the night from the start. Is it even worth the fight to go through all of this again? I need to know that this is meant to be. Or should we go together? Try to make a plan, fall apart. Can we even understand? Was it meant to be? Oh, it's tears in the night from the start. Can we even make it right?
That is very relatable.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like a lot of people this year are like rolling over in the middle of the night, like singing that to themselves.
Yep. Rough, man. Luckily, this year's been good.
Good.
That's all I have to say about that. What's been the thing that you've learned in this like quarantine, whatever, COVID times? What the biggest takeaway?
Well, I feel like if I thought about it for a little longer, I'd maybe have a different answer, but I'm going to just go with what is like popping into my head.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like the word inevitable is like popping in. Like, I think that all the chaos that everyone's been feeling, the chaos that's been going on, like the division that's going on, I kind of feel like it's all inevitable, just because of the way things have been going for so long.
Yeah.
And so that's like kind of like the first thing that pops into my head. But I think the other thing is that I don't think there is enough like like maybe like mental health priority.
Yeah.
And so, because I think that a lot of people aren't prepared for something like this. Like, I feel lucky as an artist that I already had like a lifetime of when something upsets me or I feel like withdrawn or isolated, like I have my go tos. Like, I have my stuff I
Yeah.
immediately start to do. And there are a bazillion people out there that don't have those, don't know even what that could look like for them. They don't even, maybe they've never gone to a counselor.
Mm.
Maybe they don't even know how to be honest with themselves, let alone with the people that they are stuck in a house with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think, like, I feel like I'm lucky in the sense that I had a lot of stuff happen in the last handful of years where, I was like, oh my God, never did I think those experiences would make it where I didn't just feel like incredibly overwhelmed by everything, you know? So I think that's kind of like my takeaway is that especially in the States, because I've spent a lot of time in Canada and it's totally different up here, even though it feels like it should be really similar.
Mm.
I just think in the States, like a lot of stuff's like brushed under the rug because it's like go, go, go all the time.
Yeah.
And that catches up to you eventually. You know, nobody can really like sustain that forever.
Right.
So that's kind of my takeaway. I kind of feel like it was inevitable. And most like Americans don't have proper time off. And
Right.
so you give people actual time off and they kind of like realize some stuff that they're not happy about, you know?
Right.
And so, and it's great to realize that stuff, but then we also need tools to be able to be like, okay, well, what are the steps so that I can do something about that instead of just like feel like you're like a prisoner to that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's been crazy. Like I feel like the I don't know. I just think of like Instagram for some reason is like you the things that are in the ethos. It's like I feel like last year it was like hustle harder, you know, and then this year it's like do yoga, you know. It's like it feels like the exact opposite because everybody's not hustling and they're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Why was I hustling so hard, you know? It's like,
Yep.
and I'm feeling that like, oh man, I work so all the time and just like with like what's the reward in that? It's like
Yep.
you feel good because you're working hard. It's like, well, what the hell? You know, are you spending good time with your family? Are you like, you know, supporting the ones that you need? Are you getting your mental health? And I feel pretty good about that stuff normally, but now that it's just so much less hustling, it's like I just don't care anymore
Yeah.
about any of that, which has really been cool to just kind of let go of that and really try to hone in on what I'm wanting to do and even more just but music's so hard, you know. It's specifically it's like you kind of have to hustle to do it, especially if you're like wanting to make money. So but I've been lucky enough to just be in the circumstance where I've gotten like more lessons, so I can like that can like be a little bit of money and not have to gig all the time. So now it's like I'm not gigging at all and I'm just like, this is great.
That's awesome.
But you know, that took a while to just be in that mental space too and earn enough whatever just experience to be there. And you know, it's I was kind of transitioning before, so it was a lucky spot to be in. But I see people now that are wanting to like go out and perform, and I'm like, why do you want to jump through all those hurdles just to like get on a stage? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just
totally.
so out of it.
Oh, I haven't performed on a stage for a long time, so
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, yeah, but I think too it's like the hustling also has there's so much more like intertwined with it. Like,
Yeah.
for some people it's their identity. For some people
course.
it's the way they feel they have purpose or like value. So, yeah, I think it's interesting when it's like you take away the opportunity to do that. You have to really see like, okay, well, what was I putting on myself? Like, you know, was I putting too much weight on that when there are other ways that you exist outside of that, you know?
Right. Yep. For sure. Yeah, I think the mental health thing is great. And the thing about America is like we have to work all the time, and we don't have health care. We don't have, you know, and
Yep.
if you have health care, it's like, or if you have some kind of health problem, like I know people that are musicians that are like, I'm an accountant because I can't afford any of my bills.
It's true.
Because I have a condition. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
It's
You had to
so
go to
true.
school to do all that just to be a musician, or you know, it's like I don't want to do this job at all, but I had this condition, so I have to make money.
Yeah.
That
And
makes no sense.
it makes zero sense, and really I think it comes back to like health being at the root of everything. And I don't
Right.
think we've looked at that as like Americans for a really long time. I think it's been more of like money, how do you make money? But
Right.
the reality is that like working hard does not equal a dollar amount. Like it doesn't. Like you could work so much harder than the person next to you, and that person is making like 55 million times what you're making.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of values in like our system that just like don't work in anyone's favor for like having a healthy, sustainable like life that brings them maybe like it doesn't have to bring them joy, but you know, actually is like works so that there's balance, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm totally that way. My health insurance is crazy expensive because I have an autoimmune disorder, and so it's like I like basically, you know, any money that I make that has to be prioritized to that first, you know?
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. Like if that wasn't reliant on a job, then I think people would be able to like if it was more like just something that people were able to have easier. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, you hear everyone say it. I have this job because it has good health insurance. Mm-hmm. That's why you have that job?
yeah.
That
I know it's crazy
sucks.
being in Canada because like I hear like a lot of opinions up here and assumptions that they don't really like recognize maybe how it works down in the States. Like even with time off, like up here it's like you get kind of like 3 weeks a year or something like that. Like that's pretty much a given, and then usually you've got more than that, and every month they have like one day off like a month that's like they call it like a stat holiday or whatever, so you get like a day off, and
great.
it's almost every month. And we like I'm always like, what? I was lucky if I got a week off in a row. Like, you know what I mean? Like usually
Yeah.
I had to take like a day off here, especially if you're a musician. And then you'd be like, oh, I need that day off because we're going to play this gig out of
Right.
town.
Exactly.
And then, you know, they'd be like, oh, well, I can't really give it that to you, so you need to use one of your vacation days. And you're like, okay.
Right.
And then so your vacation time is like when you're like finally like, I can take a vacation. I've
Yeah.
got 3 days.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
I've really fought against that system since I got out of college. I'm like, nope, not doing it. I'm not going to do that. Which
Good for you.
it
yeah.
sucks because all the other things like poverty.
Oh, I know.
But I've only had a real job right out of college. It wasn't even real. It was a freelance job, but I worked for a corporation, and I was like, nope, not doing this.
That's amazing.
Lucky, very, very, very privileged to have that position, because I didn't have student debt. So,
Yep.
I mean, that just crushes you. So I'm
Yep.
really, really, really privileged. I think you have another song or
I have one more song.
nice.
This one's kind of like, I don't know. It's a
Okay.
slow one. This one with my reverb is called Feel Again.
melody. It shocks me like no other. All the ups and all the downs. They say we heard it all, but nothing sounds the same. I wanna feel something again. It went up in flames. I smoked it away. Every little ash that I sweep is spelling out your name. Yeah. All the ups and all the downs. They say we had it all, then tell me how it changed. I wanna feel something again. I wanna feel something again. I can count the bills and all the days I washed away that left me here with nothing more to say. But I wanna feel something again. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. I wanna feel. I think I'm ready now. Something. I think I'm ready now. 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 Something.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sounds so good. It's like, it sounds like the recording. It's so cool.
Thank you. That's the first time I've like sang that basically for other people. So
Oh, cool.
I was like, I'm such a creature of like the notes I can hit comfortably have to do with how like whether I'm feeling super comfortable or not. So
Right.
if I get nervous, I'm all like, ugh.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so you have a question, and then I have a song, I think.
Yes, I have a question
It takes
for
me
you.
forever to figure this out.
I have a completely ridiculous question
All
for
right.
you. So I went like about music, and then I went to about like something serious, and now
Yeah.
this is completely ridiculous. But and I cheated because I looked it up, but I thought it was too good not to ask because it baffles me. So here's your question. Is cereal a soup?
Wow. Mind blowing. Um, Wow. Actually, that's a good one.
I know, right?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe because of the dry ingredients, and then it's not like something you have to make. It's like almost like a sandwich. You assemble it.
Oh.
I don't know.
I like that. No,
You're not blending it. You're not blending it. It's not stewing. It's and then you eat it. But it's weird. It's not a sandwich.
No.
What is it?
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
Cereal.
Wow.
That's hilarious. And actually, I like your response because I was thinking like, well, maybe it's more like a stew. But you're right. You're not stewing it.
No, because you want to eat it fast. You don't want it to make it. If you the longer you wait, the worse it is, and the less it is cereal. So maybe oatmeal could be a stew or something, or a soup.
Yeah.
What is it? What does it say when you looked it up?
I don't think it had an answer. It's like it's like
Enigma.
its own. It is the question that has baffled mankind.
That's hilarious. Huh? Cereal. That's good. I like it.
So, not a soup. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. This song was written like a while ago, but now like the lyrics have changed meanings. It's really crazy. It's another one I'm about to record. I was in Colorado at this workshop, and I was coming home, and before I got on the plane. And I was just like humming this chorus, like, and I'm like, I gotta get this down. I like had to get on the flight. I'm like, da, da, da. It's kind of picturing this like gospel thing. And so the idea is kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of just like, it's easy. I think it's easy to tell. You just have to listen, I guess, to the song. I think it's self-explanatory. But it's very weird how the lyrics feel like I just wrote them, especially the first couple verses. I definitely wasn't in quarantine when I wrote this. Feels like the last few years flew by, walking around in a haze. Not much to remember, but a lot to forget. Feels like you're wasting your days. Bobby's sick now, fell off last week. No show at the last AA. It's the ride, no, it's not the destination. 3 years poured right down the drain. I know this must be hard for you, but you got to tell your story. You don't have to be afraid. Use your power. Let go of this pain. You can let go of the pain. That town was always too big for you. The fact is you made it out. People change and it's not up to you. Sad songs familiar to the South. I know you just wanna live your life. Every day feels like survival. I know you made a sacrifice. It's time for your revival. I know this must be hard for you, but you got to tell your story. You don't have to be afraid. Use your power. You that place in your heart that you just can't shake. Fear is your friend and it just won't go away. It's time to breathe deep and soldier on. Don't let your victory be in vain. You've got to tell your story. You can't have to be afraid. Use your power. You can let go of the pain. You can let go. You can let go of the pain. You can let go of the pain.
Very well done.
Thank you.
I liked the line, what was it? Sad song, familiar.
To the south.
Yes. Love that.
It's I'm kind of like trying to take these experiences that I've, other people really. It's like trying to get outside my own self, that other people have had, and kind of wrap them into a song. I like really specific stuff that's happened. Like, I'm a realist, so I like to connect things to real events.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I'm like, well, it was real. It happened.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. I like it. I'm proud of that one.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I like what you're saying. About the you were thinking like, what were you saying? Gospel, like a gospel.
Yeah, I kind of like
Choir.
tons of harmonies on the chorus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be beautiful. Do you want to ask her? Or you want me to just?
So how does that work with the visuals?
Well, I just decided when I first was doing the project, I couldn't just. Like, how it's like whenever you do anything online now, you have to say what you are. So it's like, I'm a musician, or
Right.
I'm, a,
Yeah.
brand ambassador. I don't know.
Right.
So I kept thinking, well, what do I want? I want to do something that I focus my attention on, with my creativity, but what outlet do I want it to be? Do I want it to be music, or do I want it to be, art?
Yeah.
Because they're both like, I'm passionate about both of them.
Right.
And so I decided, well, I'm just going to combine it. So it's going to be like this little, I'm going to create this world where, like, what I make is twofold. It's like I make songs for some of the art, and then I make art for some of the songs.
Oh, cool.
So my album, Full Potential, has like a stop motion for each track.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I just basically took over my mom's garage last year.
Nice.
For part of the year for a couple months, and like just made a ton of art for every track. And then so like on Instagram, I post mostly art, and then like if there's a stop motion that has like it needs like a little snippet of music, I'll make music for that. But
cool.
I am trying to do like post more like singing videos, because I don't want it to just be an art project in that outlet, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I've just been making art while I'm up here, and then
Are you able to like take advantage of like healthcare there and stuff, or is it just like, are you an American? How does that work?
well, you have to if you're going to stay, Americans are allowed to be in Canada, for anyone
Right.
that's interested, except not now, because Canada does not want anybody from the US up there at all. Like,
Right.
they're like, if you think you're going to escape the US
Right.
and relocate to Canada, you are wrong. But yeah, it's not going to happen. They closed
I did
the
hear
border.
that. I did hear that.
Yeah, they basically in March, or maybe it was February of this year, we went down to Washington, came up, went through the border. Literally after we got through the border, they announced that the border was being closed.
Whoa.
So yeah, so then that's why I've been up here since then. And so because I mean, I could try for a permanent residency, which in hindsight, if I'd known I was going to be up here as long as I have, that
Right.
would have made more sense.
Right.
But because when it feels right for us to go back down to the States and the borders open and everything, then like we don't know when that was going to be, right? So
Right.
all I did was I did a visitor visa. So you have to apply for that and pay a fee, and then they'll grant it to you or not. And so
Oh, okay.
they granted me a visitor visa. But Americans generally are allowed to come to Canada for 6 months of the year.
Okay.
But you have to have like you can't just show up and be like, here I am, I'm gonna stay here for 6 months. Like,
Right.
you know, you would need to do other stuff. But yeah, so like technically we could normally just visit and stay, but
Okay.
yeah, so I have a visitor visa. Yeah.
Were you around like during the protests and stuff? I mean,
No, I
does
have
Canada
been
have that? I mean, I don't.
a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the crazy thing about it is that like around the world people are feeling similar ways.
Right.
So there were like Black Lives Matters protests in Canada as well. I mean, they've been all over the world.
Right.
But it's been really interesting for me as a like American to not be in America during all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, it's kind of like I feel like, wow, I'm, you know, feel really lucky that like I guess I'm in Canada, but on the other hand, it is weird. It feels like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And it's really bizarre. It feels like we are in some like bizarre parallel universe. But then I also think when I look at stuff that like our great grandparents would have gone through, it's kind of like, well,
Yep.
we actually were pretty lucky because we had like such a long run
Yeah.
where in our lifetime we haven't experienced too much chaos. So
No.
to be like all my friends, all my family, all my loved ones like are in this place where it just feels like it's turning into chaos. And in Canada, Canadians are very much impacted just like the rest of the world with what's going on in the States.
Right.
So the news in the States is very
It's like prominent.
it's prominent here. Like they want to know what's going on. It's important to them to know what's going on. It's also been interesting to hear like opinions and be like the only American in the room. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
So
yeah.
so
And
yeah, it's interesting.
it's probably like you. I wonder if you have like survivor's guilt, almost like I should be there.
It is that. It
Should be
is
there with
it's
them.
weird. It is weird. And that was a good example because I was trying to figure out how to explain it.
Because you're glad you're not here, but you're like, oh man, I probably feel bad
Yeah.
almost.
And there is something weird about even though like the states are so split right now, either side there's a lot of camaraderie on that side, right? So like and trauma tends to bring people together in a lot of ways too. So if you I don't know, there's like I don't know, it's weird. I don't know, it's so weird. I can't even put it into words. It's bizarre to have all that stuff be happening and watching it from a bird's eye view. I think it's interesting too because there's a lot where we've been kind of just getting by but not being aware of stuff. Like I've never really been active in politics. Like I
Right.
voted, but
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't even necessarily consistent about that. And I think
Right.
there's just such a format of like do what you need to do to survive
Yeah,
and then like
exactly.
not like that stuff is beyond your limit, like
Yes.
beyond what you can get involved in, which isn't true.
Isn't true at all.
Yeah. So I think from that standpoint it's been really cool that, you know, there are a lot of people that were first time voters. Like I have friends that this is the first time they've ever voted and that's really cool. But yeah, I don't know. It is so like it's 2020. Is Stephen King writing this year? I have no idea.
Well, thanks for doing this. My battery's gonna run out, so I want to try to end before it happens. But
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'll hit you up when I get the next thing going. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.